baby, you're crazy. Cause baby, you're crazy.
Ciao a tutti! Hi guys and welcome back to another Eurovision video, and guys, today's video is going to be very different. Yes indeed. Yes, it's not going to be your box standard reaction video. Today, judging by that title down below, we are diving head first into Mahmood's brand new album Ghetto Limpo, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you my review based on my very first listen. And here's a breakdown straight from the outset, guys. It's not going to be a reaction video because I've already reacted to it in my own time. And I've been making my notes on each and every song along the way. There's a lot to get into. I've gone through each and every track on the album, minus the Spanish version of Clan. And I have written down my initial thoughts and feelings based on the musicality. I haven't had time to go through each and every track's lyrics and translate the lyrics, because I just wanted to get in there and listen to it straight away. The problems of being a fanboy. Now, for those of you that may be new to the old Eurovision game and don't know who Mahmood is,
get out!
No, I'm joking. Mahmood came second for Italy in 2019 with his astounding track on one of my favourite all-time Eurovision songs, Soldi. If you know, you know. And since then, Mahmood has already released one album and a plethora of singles. Therefore, when it came to his brand new album, because I'm a little bit of a stan, I really wanted to give you guys my first and initial thoughts on the album. And while I get into this, guys, I want to know your thoughts along the way. Let me know down below if you've already heard his album or if you're yet to hear his album, and which of those are your favourite tracks. Or maybe you're just an OG and you like the originals and you like Soldi. Let me know your thoughts on Mahmood and everything Mahmood down below in that comment section. I can't wait to get into what you guys have to say. But there's a lot to get on with, so I'm just going to get on with this. Enough fuss. Let's discuss. Okay guys, so I really feel like the best course of action to get through my honest review is to just read you through my notes as I went through, because it is literally my first thoughts and my first feelings and reactions based on what I've written down. But if I was to sum this album up off the top of my head, I haven't actually written this down just based on memory, what I will say is Mahmood is an absolute genius. The songs on there are so good. I really feel like this album is before its time and it really paves the way for music in the future. There are not two songs that are the same on this album. Each song brings something so different, so out of the box. May that be musicality, the rhythm of the song, the tempos, the vocal arrangements, everything is so different. However, it all follows the same sound. Because an album is so different to an EP. An album follows a sound, follows a vibe, follows an aesthetic. Whereas an EP, you can just shove any random sounding songs on there and class it as an EP. This has to be a body of work and really take you on a journey. And to be honest guys, based on the musicality, it did take me on a journey. And at the end, I was left feeling quite dazed and taken aback, because I did feel like I was taken on a musical journey. And it is hard to put into words, but music is all feeling and emotion, and I definitely felt a lot of things with this album. The incredible thing that Mahmood manages to do on this album is in each and every song, the pace and the tempo has such a big switch up. You are put in one direction, may that be with the slow music, and all of a sudden the drop kicks in and you're taken somewhere completely different. And this happens on more than one occasion, and that is something that's so incredible about his work. What you see is not what you get. You get so many different sounds, so many different genres and little motifs in the background. It keeps you engaged the entire time. Now, without further ado, it is time to get into each and every track. Let me know down below which ones are your favourites and see if your opinions compare to mine. And I apologise from the offset if any of my pronunciations are wrong. Have you met me? They probably are. Okay, so let's get into this. Here are my initial thoughts on each and every song, and I've scored each one out of 10. Let me know what you think about each song down below. And if you're yet to hear it, please visit the link in the description. It will take you straight to Mahmood's album. I wouldn't want you to miss out. Right, so first and foremost we have Day, the perfect opener to the album. It sets such an eerie yet dramatic vibe. The plethora of vocal effects coincided with the Middle Eastern drops are so effective. It sets a strong precedent for the album and it gets me hyped. The song is just one big diverse build, and it completely is. It is so exciting, it is dramatic, yet it's quite subdued at the same time, and this is a running theme with his songs. They are so good, honestly. To be honest, I wanted it to last longer, but it does work as a great intro to the album, and I've given it an 8 out of 10. Right, next up we have the album's title track, which is Ghetto Limpo. From the outset, this is going to be a tough song to follow up from the intro because it was so different and so diverse, and it is a brave choice because he opens it a cappella cappella, and you can really hear his smooth vocals. And they are very angelic in places because he has a signature way of singing, and he does the little all the time. Look, he'll slip into that falsetto, no problem. The beat then follows Day perfectly. The song's arrangement is so exciting, the different changes in pace is phenomenal, and are so powerful, it really keeps the listener engaged. It's a bop with lush musical undertones. This is a sound I want more of. The mix of genres, from the soft piano motifs to the heavier yet subtle beats, really make the song so diverse. To me, this is a classic Mahmood sound. Not quite the futuristic sounds of Dorado, but not quite Rapide either. It's got that middle ground, and it's so good. It's a lovely play on the genres. And to me, the song perfectly encapsulates what Mahmood is all about musicality-wise. And I've given it a 10. I am all about Ghetto Limpo, guys. No wonder he named the album Ghetto Limpo. Next up, sorry for my pronunciation, is Inuyasha. The track placement here is great. The introduction of Inuyasha really keeps the album's journey fresh. We're not following the same sound. It's got the same motifs, but it's a bit different, and the pace is a lot slower, which is really nice because variety is the spice of life. It's refreshing to hear a subdued and laid-back track with vulnerable Mahmood coming to the forefront, accompanied by an acoustic guitar in the first verse. The progression is beautiful as we go further into the song, as there is a loud backing beat, and the strings in the middle eight really come to the forefront, and it really has that emotional factor behind it. I've given Inuyasha 7 out of 10. Then we move on to Cobra, and guys, I've already seen my comment section being flooded with "React to Cobra!" So already this song had a reputation. Cobra. This is where Mahmood's fierce side comes through. You can hear through the vocals he means business. The attitude was there, guys. It was real. The music drop is unlike anything I have ever heard before, and it puts me on the edge of my seat and fills me with so much energy. This is only replicated in the bridge. His quirky, fierce energy is second to none. It's modern, fresh, quirky, and I think it's actually before its time. This got me so hyped, and you can actually hear in the bridge when he starts to do his rap, his vocals get so much more angry. There's slight growls in there, the volume goes up, the charisma comes through. He was feeling it, guys. And yet again, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Told ya. Fanboy. Right, guys, next up we have Basseda la Tunisia. Right, based on musicality, this comes at a great time after Cobra. The intro follows the dark vibe of Cobra because a lot of these songs, guys, have a dark undertone to them. And swiftly, the song transforms with futuristic sounds and the trap beat sound that Mahmood has adopted so well, because in most of his songs, he does have a trap beat. And I, for one, am not a massive fan of trap beats, but he makes it work very well with the other musical elements he has in his tracks, mixed with this flamenco and kind of like R&B vibe. He then goes on to flutter his heavenly falsetto as a hook over these beats, and the juxtaposition works incredibly well. Honestly, it's like a deep and dark beat, and there are trap beat elements in there. And he's just there. I can't quite remember the hook, but it's kind of going ooh, something like that, over the top. And it is so odd because it's so different, but it works really well. Also based on this song, the outro was so random. It was almost plucked out of thin air. It's like orchestral tones as the track ends, which kind of sets it up for the next one. However, just based on my distaste for the trap beats, I have given this a 5 out of 10. It didn't quite grab me as much as the others did. Next up is Clan. You guys know this, I know this, I've reacted to this on the channel before. Clan, whoever compiled the track list is a genius. The journey of this album is incredible, and Clan keeps the dark undertones but supplies an absolute bop at the same time, and just leaves you wanting more. The eerie elements and the offbeat brass just add to the dark tones, like they don't quite fit in the music, but it works so well, and you just kind of pick it up in your hearing line. It's an earworm, let's be honest. You guys have seen my reaction, and if you've not, check out that link up there. It will take you straight to my Clan reaction. Basically, my review is in that. But for the purposes of this recording, 10 out of 10, baby! Next up, we move on to Zero. When this song initially started, it felt out of place to me. The squeaky notes were getting to me, and they were really grating. There was like this kind of in the background, and I realised I just sounded like a dentist drill. Sorry, trigger warning. Then when the build comes in, I feel like this could be a turning point in the album because the sound really does change. This song does stand out in a different way. It slaps, it hits differently, but not in your typical boof, boof, boof kind of way. It's a lot more floaty and chill. There are 80s motifs in the backing, only very subtle tones within the chorus. And I must admit, it wasn't my favourite track on the album, but it's a very pleasant listen, and I will play it again. It's a very different sound from Mahmood, and it is a sound that suits him. I just kind of feel like this sticks out a little bit because it doesn't quite follow the same sound. It's not as coherent when we get to this point. So I have scored this a 6 out of 10. Next, we move on to Rubin featuring Eliza, or Elisa. And you can definitely see where the album starts to change because Zero introduces a different, more floaty sound, and then Rubin does kind of add to that as well. And I've written, okay, by this point the trap beat effect is wearing thin on me. Guys, you know I'm not a fan of trap beats, and by now I was a bit over it. However, this track is kept so diverse, it soon just adds another layer of musicality and progression. Both voices blend very, very well, and this strikes me as an Ariana Grande duet which wouldn't be out of place on her album Positions. And to be honest guys, the more you listen to it and the more you imagine Ariana Grande, this could quite easily be Mahmood featuring Ariana Grande and it being on her album. It does sound very much up her street. And it is possibly the most generic track on the album we've seen this far. And I say that from a place with love because the other songs are so out of this world and they're just on another level. This one just seems very commercial US pop. Do you know what I mean? With the trap beats and the kind of generic state of music at the moment. And I did actually give it a 4 out of 10. So far, that is the lowest I've rated. I just kind of don't feel he needs it on there. And after that, the mood just picks up completely, or should I say, the mood picks up completely, because we move on to Dorado. And if you guys have yet again missed my reaction, you can see Dorado up there. I reacted to it and I absolutely loved it. So my review's basically there. But here's what I had to say about it as I got excited. Yes! I literally wrote yes. As soon as Dorado hits, you know Mahmood is back on top form, and this is Mahmood. This is the kind of duet or feature that he does the best. The song is jam-packed with hooks, different inflections which keep you engaged, even down to the pronunciation of Dorado, Dorado, Dorado. The high fluty tones and the flamenco influences are epic. This is just his sound, and this is the sort of sound that I love from Mahmood, and this is why I love him. Yet again, there are so many different and weird kind of musical inflections in the background, but they're just different elements that keep you enticed. And these, on this album, are the kinds of songs that you could listen to about 6 times, and you could still pick up something different each time. And guess what? Gave it a 10! Right, next up we move to Talata. Okay, I didn't really like this one. Unfortunately, this track is just too jaunty and misplaced for me to get into, personally. The instrumentation is quite jarring, and coming after Dorado just makes me lose interest. I think it's a bit... For me, I think it's a bit too cool and a bit too effortless. It doesn't really feel like there's a lot that's gone into the track. It's produced very well, I will give them that. However, the instrumentation and the vocal line, they don't seem to do this. It's kind of like they're on 2 different levels, and I can't get into it. I can't get into the beat, but also the vocals. It's something that's not quite right. And this was the lowest. I apologise. I did give it a 2 out of 10. Just based on my personal opinion. Don't come for me. And seeing as it came after Dorado, and I'm so hyped about that song, I just think in comparison it fell flat for me. Next up we have Tiamo. Now, this is a different vibe. The music is airy and light, but also very, very dramatic. The vocal on top is smooth and sublime. Honestly, his vocals in this were second to none. The ambience music gave me chills. The music didn't actually feel like an instrumentation for a song. It actually felt like ambience music. And I felt like I could have put it on to listen to zen out and really like meditate and get into my own kind of groove, if that makes sense. And honestly, it gave me chills. If you listen to Tiamo and you listen to that backing track without the vocal line, you will feel like you're either dreaming, or you can put yourself in a different situation, or you can just kind of daydream. Honestly, you go somewhere different. This hits differently, and a very nice musical change to have on the album at this point. His vocal here is reminiscent to Sam Smith. And honestly, now I wrote it, I can remember. It literally, at one point, I thought it was Sam Smith. I was like, oh, am I listening to Mahmood? Especially considering the instrumentation took me somewhere else. Suddenly, I thought I was listening to Sam Smith. Also, the choir effect at the end was lovely. I loved how it ended. It came out of the blue again, and it was so random. I did give it a 6 out of 10, just because it's not my favourite, but it's still good, and I think this has the growability factor. Next up, we have Karma featuring Woodkid. Guys, this was in English, and it was really weird. Like, when I heard it, I was like, eh? Like, I was not expecting it to be English. It was very nice to have something very different pop up in English, but Nah, it just did not sound right to me. Very chill and calming, but still keeping on theme with the sound of the rest of the album, especially considering we just followed Tiamo. So seeing that we had another one that was quite chill and relaxing, you can see that the album was definitely starting to wind down and come to an end. To hear English is very bizarre at this point. I think I lose connection when Woodkid comes in, because Mahmood has a way of being very emotive through his voice and is so much more convincing. Yeah, when Woodkid came in, I kind of lost a bit of interest because I didn't kind of relate to his voice. I was so used to listening to Mahmood, and he has this way of just singing so passionately and emotively, and he puts his heart and soul into a track. Then when Woodkid came in, it kind of lost its authenticity to me, especially considering it was in English as well. It didn't quite match up. I would have much preferred to have heard Mahmood sing this solo. The song is a little bit stagnant to me because of Woodkid, but it does supply a very good hook in the chorus, and I gave it a 5 out of 10. I will listen to it again, but it's just on that mid-level for me as we start to wind down towards the end of the album. Then next up is a track that we all know and love, and it is Rapide. And yes guys, I've yet again reacted to Rapide, and you can hear my initial thoughts on that track here. So this is only really going to echo what I've said. Now if there's one thing Mahmood can do, it's pour his heart and soul into a song, and that's what he delivers with Rapide. We all know this. It's so well produced and written phenomenally, because I did actually look at the lyrics to this song before. I'm just drawn in. The way he sings, the way he pours his heart into it, you don't even need to know what he is singing to be really engrossed in it. Music is a universal language, and the arrangement is sublime. It's so nice to listen to. You could listen to the vocal line and you can listen to the instrumentation solo. Both amazing. Then all of the typical Mahmood motifs come out, the strings come into play, he does his little falsetto flips up there, and he just sings so passionately, and his caramel voice comes out smooth. The only thing I put here that I wasn't really a fan of was that I just think the trap beat detracts from the emotion and purity of the track, which I understand trap beats can work as a ballad and they can work in a bop, but I just feel like I was listening too much to the trap beat and I was really trying to empathise and sympathise with Mahmood. So to hear like a that was me trying to do a trap beat, it kind of took away some of the emotive values of the track for me. The ending is pure class, and I'm glad he included it on the album because it is a good song. It is great to be placed as the penultimate track, because I feel like it's the most emotive on the album. And just before the album ends, it's nice that he got that little moment in there, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like I say, the only reason it wasn't a 9 or a 10 was because of the trap beats. It really did push me back a little bit. Right, and last but not least, we have Icaro y Libero. Sorry. This is the closing track on the album if we're discounting the Spanish version of Clan. It's clear after hearing the previous tracks that the album's journey is winding down, but in typical Mahmood style, just when you think the song is headed one way, it flips. This track really encapsulates the entire album. The genre flips, the arrangement, the surprises, the lightness, the shade within the tracks, and the killer, understated vocals. Because Mahmood has a way of showing off these vocals without giving us massive belts and without giving us all these vocal flips and tricks. He just does it in such a subtle and subdued way, and it is really nice to listen to. Now, this is not one of my favourites, but it closes the album so well. And after listening to the entire album, you kind of feel taken back and in a daze, which is true. This song is by no means the best on the album, it's not the worst on the album, but it does keep the theme of the body of work. And the coherent aesthetics, it is the same. It's the same sound, it's the trap beat, it's the way the arrangement moves, it's the way he gets his little motifs in there. It's definitely a part of the album, and it wouldn't be the same without these songs. I did give the song a 5 out of 10, however, for me, that's quite usual for the end of an album, because the album's journey has come to an end and you kind of feel a bit deep breath as soon as the album's finished. There we have it! There's my review! Oh, so there we have it guys, I'm so sorry to gabble on, and I wasn't actually able to play any of the music in this video just because of copyright purposes. So if you guys want to check out the entire album, I've put the link down below in the description so you can have a little listen to Mahmood. I wouldn't want you to miss out on the masterpiece. Please, once you've had a listen, come back to this video and tell me what you think. And if you agree with my opinions or you've got a completely different one, because I love to hear what you have to say. However, if you're a big fan of Mahmood and you want to see some more album reviews like this, please hit that thumbs up button just so I'm aware for the future. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button. That way you can stay up to date with all of the other videos I have coming out on this channel. But that's all for me today, guys, and all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Ciao. Goodbye.